This is a CBS 4 News special report.
I'm Elliot Rodriguez. I want to bring you the latest on the coronavirus pandemic. Right now, let's go to Miami-Dade School Superintendent Alberto Carvalho.
We felt it was appropriate to provide the last communication after the first week of instructional learning from home. So just to catch you up as to where we are at this point. Number one, we have had a remarkably successful week of distance learning. This week, we had close to 250,000 independent logins. That is both students and teachers logging in to our assets to connect with their teachers, with their colleagues, or curricular resources from the comfort and safety of their homes. That is truly a remarkable transition from traditional classroom teaching to distance learning accomplished in a very short period of time. I want to let parents and educators know that the resources available online will remain active during next week's spring break. What will be different is that they will not be monitored by teachers, as was the case this week. Our hotline, the district hotline at 305-995-3000 for answers to any question regarding anything in the school system will remain open during the spring break. Again, our hotline at 305-995-3000 will remain open next week during spring break from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Next week will be spring break, and I'm asking parents and teachers and students to take a break. This was a very successful but very demanding week. A week when we saw students and teachers alike transition from traditional teaching in schools to distance learning, utilizing digital content and online resources, utilizing Microsoft Teams and Zoom. And I have to say, you did remarkably well. To parents, I've heard some of you telling me that the class load online was excessive. During the next few days, we will be convening internally and providing recommendation to our teachers and to our principals regarding an appropriate level of classwork to be assigned during these times of distance learning. Our instructional continuity plan hotline fielded more than 2,000 calls this week alone. In addition to that, our professional development online was extremely successful with 100% of our teachers. That's in excess of 19,000 teachers successfully taking advantage of this online professional development opportunity. We cannot do distance learning without devices, and we're very proud of the fact that we distributed over 56,000 devices to students and parents over this past week. Next week, after spring break, during which time there will be no distribution, we will be providing devices to students that may need those devices at 31 distribution sites, in addition to 6 high schools across Miami-Dade. For information on those distribution sites, you can go to icp.dadeschools.net. Again, if there are any students who are not able to access the schools to get their device, you will not get them next week, for all schools shall be shut down during spring break. But the week that will follow, we will have 31 schools open for distribution of food. Devices will be available at a number of those, in addition to 6 select schools, all of them high schools throughout the community, for the exchange of damaged devices or to get a brand new device for your child. Brand new announcement for March 30th, the very first day after spring break. WLRN, our community public TV station and radio station, will begin age-appropriate, standards-aligned, grade-level appropriate educational programming from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. every single day. That's for pre-K through 12. Again, WLRN will begin broadcasting educational programming beginning March 30th from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. I want to speak a little bit more about meal distribution. It's not lost to us that 73.4% of the children in our community live in food insecure environments. They depend on the meals we provide them at school. That is why this week alone we distributed in excess 200,000 meals in our schools. That's a nutritious breakfast and lunch distributed this week at over 350 schools. During spring break, this is critically important. Hunger will not go away. That is why, in partnership with FarmShare, Feeding South Florida, and Share Your Heart, we will be providing community feedings across the community. For information on those distribution sites, again, either call our hotline at 305-995-3000 or access us online at icp.dateschools.net or covid19.dateschools.net for information. After spring break, once again, we will continue food distribution at 31 sites. 31 sites. We will disseminate those locations to everyone in our community. There will be a significant change. Even though during this week we have provided food between 9 and 12:30, after spring break, after March 30th, the feedings will take place at 31 select schools between 4 and 7 p.m. It will be a grab-and-go model. Every single parent, every single child, no questions asked, can come to our schools and grab a bag with the following day's breakfast and lunch. And we will repeat this to ensure that every single child in our community receives the food they need. We will continue our partnership with community organizations for food distribution to be cooked at home as well. Facilities. It is not lost to us that even though schools will be shut down for traditional education with principals and teachers working from home, but a lot of activity will be taking place at schools. Our sanitization teams will be hard at work, fully sanitizing these schools. That means a deep sanitization effort to ensure that upon the return of our students and teachers, these schools present no danger whatsoever. We have already sanitized 50 schools. We will sanitize an additional 50 schools per week until we reach 100% sanitization district-wide. In addition to that, we are accelerating construction projects across the entire district. 31 accelerated capital construction projects are ongoing right now. That includes maintenance work, inclusive of the replacement of AC filters, critically important considering how this contagion spreads. Up till now, we have replaced 26,000 AC filters district-wide. To our employees, we are committed. We recognize the hardship that this crisis is putting our employees through. That is why, for as long as this emergency is with us, we will ensure that we are availing of ourselves of every legal opportunity to fully compensate our employees. That is full-time as well as part-time and hourly employees. Do not fear, do not fret. The district is here for you. In addition to that, we sense a great deal of stress and anxiety across our community. We will maintain the hotlines for psychological and counseling assistance to our teachers, our support staff, as well as our parents and students at 305-995-3000. For employees, you may dial directly 305-995-7111. If you are a teacher who is expected to sit for a teacher certification exam, all of the fees have been waived for statewide certification exams. If you were a test taker, you were unable to take your test, and your certificate is about to expire, do not worry, for all of you shall be granted extensions. There are a lot of parents anxious about magnitude.
We've been listening to Miami-Dade School Superintendent Alberto Carvalho discuss the district's response to the coronavirus epidemic. He said today, of course, is the last day before spring break. Students are off next week, but will continue doing remote learning until at least April 15th. He called the first week of distance learning a success, a remarkable transition, he said, from classroom learning to remote instruction. We'll continue following this on our website, cbsmiami.com. And